Title: I was shocked when the arrogant bastard approached our table. Start: I didn't expect the night to end with a crunch, bone against intention, but I suppose betrayal has a way of sharpening instincts. When he walked up to our table, smug and certain, I already knew everything. Every secret, every lie, every late-night whisper she thought I never heard. But I stayed still. I waited. I let them both believe I was a slow, harmless man. He leaned in, grabbed her hand right in front of me, and smirked at her hesitation. "Why are you hesitating? I'm far better than your loser husband. First, we'll dance, and then I'll show you what I can really do." Her eyes flicked toward me, not in fear, not in shame, but in annoyance. She actually expected me to stay seated. So when I rose behind him, silent as a held breath, I didn't feel rage. I felt clarity, a precise, cold line of purpose. What happened next was simple. One twist, one controlled torque, one familiar motion from a life she never bothered to ask about. A loud crunch. His scream. My hand. Then the collapse. That was the moment it all became real to them. But for me, the story started long before. There was a time she smiled at me like I was her peace. She said my calm steadied her storms, that my quiet strength made her feel safe. I believed her. I believed every soft word that hid the rut underneath. We built a life brick by careful brick. I worked 2 jobs. She studied. I paid off her debts. I learned her rhythms, her moods, her ambitions. But I never learned her hunger. And that was the beginning of the end. It was a small thing at first, her laughter. Not the laugh I knew. This one was lighter, younger, hidden. She angled her phone away from me. She showered twice a day. She came home smelling like a stranger's cologne, even though she insisted she was working late. I didn't confront her, not then, because suspicion is weak on its own. I needed truth, clean, undeniable truth. The moment came on a Wednesday. She left her laptop open while taking a call in the bedroom. I wasn't snooping, I just walked by. One message glowed against the screen. "Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again." From a man named Liam. Her contact name in his phone was Red Dress. Not her name, not even her initials, just an outfit she probably peeled off for him. Something cold slid into my chest. Not heartbreak, recognition. I didn't lash out. I didn't accuse. I transformed. For weeks I observed, measured, calculated. While she giggled through secret calls, I transferred our savings into separate accounts, legally, discreetly. I collected screenshots, recordings, receipts. I consulted a lawyer who specialized in marital asset protection. I installed cameras, not illegal, not invasive, just enough to see the truth in high definition. She was predictable. He was arrogant. Together, they were sloppy. I never planned violence, only exposure. But life hands you moments where justice walks right up to your table and grabs your wife's hand. The night of the restaurant scene wasn't chosen by chance. I orchestrated it. I knew they'd meet there. She thought she was attending a girls' dinner. I knew she'd lied because her friend accidentally told me she was out of town. I booked a reservation 2 tables behind hers, knowing exactly when Liam would arrive. I positioned myself so their reflection shimmered in the window beside me. They never saw me walk in. He touched her first, a soft hand on her thigh, a secret kiss she angled away from the room. She thought she was hidden. She never realized I was already in the light. I watched his arrogance grow, watched hers collapse into helpless obedience. It wasn't love between them. It was her desire to feel desired, and his desire to take what belonged to others. Perfect. When he finally swaggered over to her table, my table, and grabbed her hand, I felt the last piece of the trap click into place. He never saw my face until the moment before I broke him. After the crunch, after the scream, the restaurant froze. People gasped, chairs scraped. She stumbled backward, eyes wide, mouth trembling, not with worry for him, but fear of me. Why would you do that?" she whispered. I tilted my head, studied her. "Because, darling, this is the first time you've looked at me honestly in months." Liam writhed on the floor, clutching his ruined hand, cursing through clenched teeth. I crouched beside him. He flinched. "Next time," I said quietly, "keep your hands on your own life." Security arrived. Police followed. I raised my hands calmly. But I wasn't arrested. I wasn't even detained. Because earlier that morning, I filed a complete report. Evidence of their affair, evidence of harassment, evidence of unwanted pursuit. My lawyer had already spoken to the precinct. I acted in defense. Of boundaries. Of myself. The officers knew, my wife knew, he knew. The power shifted all at once, like a curtain drawn back on a stage no one realized they were standing on. My wife moved out 2 days later. I didn't ask where she went. I didn't care. Liam tried to sue. He failed. In the end, the only thing he walked away with was a cast and a lesson he'd remember every time it ached in the cold. As for me, I rebuilt quietly. People always assume revenge is chaos, rage, fire, unplanned fury. They're wrong. Revenge is a scalpel, not a hammer. It's silence sharpened to a point. She thought she could betray me without consequence. He thought he could steal what wasn't his. They both learned the same truth. You don't break a calm man's heart. You awaken him. And once awakened, I don't hesitate.